what I want to talk about is real estate. Obviously, I'm an agent for Keller Williams Metropolitan. And so we just want to kind of go over just Keller Williams, an overview, kind of a quick little definition of real estate and kind of where we are currently, talk a little bit about myself and what I can do for your friends, family, yourself, contacts, and then just a little Q&A. Okay, so just an overview of Keller Williams. It was born in 1983 by Gary Keller and Joe Williams. Williams being a commercial, and then Gary Keller was the residential. They started in Austin, one office, and within 5 years grew to be the top office in Austin, Texas, and then just kind of spread like wildfire from there. Currently, they are the number 3 ranked real estate brokerage in all of the United States. So it's a great company to work for. Their success is they franchised instead of owning each office. So each office is owned and operated independently from their own market center. And then Gary Keller came up with this great idea of how do we incentivize real estate agents? Yes, it's great. You get a house and you get commission, and that's wonderful. But he wanted to basically have people have a little bit more buy-in. And so he created something called a profit share. And so this profit share was basically like, okay, you're putting your effort and your money and your time and your soul into this company. We're going to give you back a little bit. So it's not just with that. They also do education. It's a really great company to work for. And, I work out of the Morristown office for Keller Williams Metropolitan, and it's just a great office. It really is. A lot of great people. You kind of hear rumors of real estate being, you have to hide your black book. You can't show anybody your clients. But it's a great team because we actually help each other. We share information, we share tactics, we share scripts. So it's a really, really great experience. So real estate itself, it's a wild ride. So before I came into real estate, I was actually in meetings and events for about 19 years, and COVID hit. And meetings and events really went away. I was lucky that I got to keep my job, but it went from me running a team of 9 individuals to me running myself ragged, just trying to, rebook everything. So I thought, let me go in a different direction. And real estate just sounded very interesting. It's a massive market. I mean, I think it was $6.1 million in 2021. Of transactions, and it's just, it's been going crazy. I think 2020 and 2021 were kind of very unique years, and that's kind of what I've lived in. But it basically, where we are today, we're kind of looking back now to pre-COVID numbers as far as the available units that are, the inventory, how long the inventory is sitting. I mean, there was a peak back in December, January, and February where houses weren't even sitting on the market for more than 10, 12 days. So we're kind of going back into that. Okay, they're sitting for 30 days, they're sitting for 35, 40 days. So we're starting to come back into a more balanced market. Whereas before it was just a complete seller's market. There weren't enough houses. There were way too many buyers. We all kind of, the topic at the dinner table was always real estate. So, we're kind of seeing that shift back. We're setting up our comps to be back to 2020 or 2019, just a more realistic view of what the houses are actually being sold at. So regarding real estate agents, and this I found to be very interesting, was the average real estate agent sells about 8 to 12 houses per year. And that's a full-time agent. That's not a part-time person working another job. And some interesting fact is when I took my class, I took it in June of 2020, and it was online. And there were probably 97 people in that class. And I thought to myself, okay, how many of these people are actually going to stick with it? How many of them are actually going to become agents? And so I did a little research, and I found that of everyone who, number one, you have to pass the school test and you have to pass the state test. About 50% of the people drop off right there. Then of those 50%, about who actually make it to become a real estate agent, about 90 of them drop off in the first year. Then we fast forward 5 years later, only about what was it, 20% 23% of the agents in year 5 actually stay on. So when you're thinking about hiring a real estate agent, sometimes it's not just about the years of experience, because someone who has, like myself, I've only been full-time since April, but I've already had 10 transactions. So that's only halfway through my year. Very dedicated. I feel very blessed that I've had the success that I have. But when you're looking at interviewing agents, or when you're talking to your friends, you're talking to your colleagues and family, it's not always about, oh, well, she's only been in real estate for half a year or a year and a half. It really depends on, your volume, your dedication, your work ethic, everything like that. And if you find a great agent that you click with and they've only been in the business for 2 years, they've already made it past 2 hurdles. So it's a good bet. So just a little bit about myself then. So kind of, you've already heard a little bit of the history. So started this journey in March 2020, got licensed in March of 2021, and then just went full-time in April of 2022. So my areas of expertise, obviously I'm in northern New Jersey. I live in Lake Hopatcong, so I really try to focus in on that area. We live on the lake, a little bit of an expert as far as when it comes to lake living, lake houses, septic systems, wells, all that fun stuff that some of the agents that work in Hudson County might not understand, or anything like that. So Again, I work for a team, and that's for Keller Williams Metropolitan. I work for a team called Crawford Lorenzo Home Selling Team. And Gordon Crawford has been in the industry for about 40 years. He's kind of a legend in this whole area. And so I feel very honored that he selected me to be part of his team, which his motto is always honesty, transparency, and hard work. And if you do those 3 things, you will have clients, become friends, become referrals, just paying it forward as much as we can. So, I work with a lot of first-time homeowners or home buyers because I love that feeling. For me, it's a smaller purchase. I'm not chasing the $1 million listings, although I will take them if you have them. I definitely get a great feeling about helping someone through the very strategic and timely process to be able to help them find their first time home. And it's just such a great feeling when you're sitting at that closing table and they're signing the paperwork and you have the keys, the little key ring that says, your new adventure starts, and you give it to them. So that's a great feeling for me. I love helping people, and I feel like this is just an amazing way to help individuals and families, achieve their dreams. So that's it in a nutshell. Any questions?
That was fantastic, Michelle Marie. Thank you for sharing.
Would have been better with PowerPoint.
Well, you know what?
No, actually, I think you did great. I think you did great because I got to know who you are, more than I have in the last few meetings. How do you see, or what's Keller Williams' forecast as we, continue this inflationary, potentially recessionary phase with interest rates continuing to move higher? And just as a caveat, I know the inverted yield curve after decades in this business, and it doesn't look good. So what's the forecast, and how are you seeing it on the ground?
So there's a couple different schools of thought on that, 2 extremes and then a lot of people in the middle. We're hopeful, and the reason is because there is still not a lot of inventory out there. You would have thought that everybody who was going to sell their house already sold their house in 2020 and 2021. But there's still quite a few people out there that, they don't want to sell, or they don't know where to go. And that's kind of the biggest thing. Where are we going to go? So there's not a lot of inventory, but there are still a ton of buyers out there. And if you're looking about the millennials that are now coming of age to purchase those homes, that's 5 million people, potentially 5 million buyers that want to purchase a home instead of renting and paying someone else. We're also seeing that it's not going to slow down because, like you said, interest rates are going up, rent is also going up. And it's going to be probably going up a bit higher, then it's going to go over the inflation. So it's going to be increasing. What am I trying to say? It's going to be increasing more than we can catch up with it in inflation. So it's actually going to be cheaper to buy a home than it's going to be to rent.